Happy Tuesday. We're starting this one off with an orange kiss here. It looks like it's the new orange juice. Lonnie New. So last week I broke into a website wrapper app that I built for the Alaska Department of Fish and Game for commercial fishermen in Bristol Bay, Alaska, and that was about like I did 7,400 or so in sales in about 2 weeks. And so this week I just wanted to do a quick update. And there's kind of two comments from that video, which was like, well, what was my distribution? And then also, how did I do it? So this week I'm going to break into the distribution part, and then next week I'll break into how I actually made it. So probably going to end up with this number, 9,200 in revenue. If you're wondering with the app stores, because they're 1 year subscriptions, in-app purchases, with Apple, that actually turns into a 15% cut on their end, not the 30%. So that's nice. It's 15% then on both sides, Google and Apple. So you can crunch that number. And it's been about 3 weeks. And I think this is pretty much the finality of this one. And then just every year, right? So again, I think I can get close to doubling this next year, not with new subscriptions, but actually with, now that I've got some kind of internal distribution with the commercial fishermen in Bristol Bay, kind of creating this directory that people have been wanting of just like different services like electricians, people working on refrigerated seawater systems, all the things that boats need service on. Those guys have plenty of work, but also come mid-season, things are a little bit different. So find a couple different services, charge them a few $100s a piece, and see if we can't just like double revenue for next year. All right, let's hop into it actually here. So distribution, what does that mean? How did I actually do that? Well, the Bristol Bay commercial fishing industry is pretty tight knit. So there's like one Facebook group basically, and it's called Bristol Bay AK Jobs, Rumors, and BS. A lot of baloney goes on here. BS is probably the best name, but there are people will go through here to find deckhands. Maybe someone's got like an oddball part, and so there's just a lot on here. There's different, like someone might tell a story, but pretty much everyone in Bristol Bay, it doesn't matter who you are, is going to be on here going through this because there is just like helpful stuff. So I just posted in here, hey, check out this app, right? And so I actually don't even have one of my first posts pulled up in here. But basically this is all I was doing. I was just making a post like this, like here's a screenshot of the app. And then I would just like post a little bit something about it. And it was pretty remarkable because I would make a post and seriously my sales for the day would all come within like 2 hours of that post, right? Like I had a day where I post a couple times. I posted a couple times and it was just like within that 2 hours, it was just like, boom, there's 10. So it's pretty amazing. I'm probably going to make another post today because the season's like 30% of the way through. So my distribution here, though, is like once I get a couple fishermen using this, I had a little bit of a rough start technically, but then I finally have everything like in a good state. But people talk up there. Like if you've ever been commercial fishing, like people are just on the radio 24/7. And so that was the name of the game, which is like make a good product. And then when they're talking on the radio, oh, hey, what's the number for this? Oh, blah, blah, blah. Where'd you get that? Oh, BB Run Live. Right. And so if one guy, and people up there are pretty just like, there's just like competitive and stuff. And so if like one person has something, then everyone in that radio group is going to get it too. Right. And so like, it was so often I would see, and I could see this in the purchases, right? Like if I got like, say 20 sales in a day, it wasn't just like throughout the day. It would literally be in like chunks of 4 or 5, right? Like 4 or 5 would all come through within like 10 minutes. And I know that that's some radio group, someone talking about it is basically what that tells me. That's my assumption. I don't know if that's true, but seems to be what the case is. So that's kind of interesting. And so, yeah, that was my distribution. A Facebook group and then word of mouth. And seems to work out pretty well. On top of that, I have friends in this industry who actually work corporate side of things. And so I kind of talked to them, and they talked to their fleet because they help with fish up there. When you deliver to tenders, and so they help like manage the fleet of those tenders. And so I actually had a friend up there who put that word of mouth out to those guys. And so this is why I'm going to be building it out for other fisheries in Alaska, because I have friends who can just like actually help me on my end, be like, hey, by the way, guys, you're going to probably want this application this season. So pretty fun, pretty cool. Lastly, just kind of want to talk about Surface Luck. I don't know where this goes, but currently talking with the university, with one of the head researchers at the University of Washington, who helps like forecast and do run analysis both in season and post season regarding the run. And so we're going to see if we can't maybe collaborate and kind of work together as to providing even more value to this app. I have to figure out some sort of economic incentive. So again, I don't know where I'm at on that, but that's what my distribution looks like. It's a Facebook group. It's fun. You get ripped on. You get a lot of positive feedback. You get a lot of negative feedback, but that's just part of building stuff and putting it out in the world. You just got to accept that. It's fun. So that's the update. I have a lot of work today. I got a milestone due, locking down another client here, hopefully, and gonna crack on to it. So cheers, and have a great Taco Tuesday.